What's going on, everybody? Especially Raider Nation. Win. It's a win. Win number one in the books. It's already there. Juan, I know you're excited Monday night. How many heart attacks did you have?
Oh my goodness. I couldn't count them, bro. I was on my knees. I was in joy. I was in pissed off mode all over the place, bro. But we got the win. We got the win twice,
Yep.
but we got the win.
And that, you know what I always say? 2 celebrations are better than no celebrations. And we'll get into that right now. Let's hit that music. All right. So, like we said, win number one is in the books. If you weren't watching on Monday night, it was one hell of a game. Went back and forth. Both you and I called for a Raider victory come Monday night. People were like, hell no, Raiders are going to get blown out by the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is too much for that Raider defense. They did it. They did what they had to do. It took overtime, but the Raiders did what they had to do. Your initial thoughts right now?
Look, I'm going to go on a little rant mode, all right? All the Raider haters out there, you guys can kiss my ass and Joe's ass because everyone was hating on the Raiders, bro. Even the telecast. Shout out to Mike and Mike from Warzone. He was talking that smack. Tony Tucker, the two duo Charger fans talking all that smack. We came out with the dub. No one thought that we were going to do it. Even before the game started, even when we did think that we won the game with Bryan Edwards, everyone thought we were going to lose it when Carr threw the pick. You know what, though? Just like in Raider fashion, bro, we find a way to win. It's just win, baby. I'm fucking excited, bro. It was a hell of a game. I'm so happy that the Raiders won, bro. I went nuts.
Yeah. Everybody looked good. The guys that we were talking about earlier in our shows, like when we talked about Derek Carr, because we said Derek Carr is going to have a good season. We brought up Bryan Edwards. Bryan Edwards was non-existent until we actually needed him. Josh Jacobs went out there hurt, and he put on a show. 2 touchdowns. Who else? Max Crosby and that new defensive line.
Hey, man, the defense came out to play. I'm just telling you this. Last year, Joe, what's the percentage that we're out of that game at 14-0 with our defense last year?
We're done.
It's done. It's over.
It's over, yeah. Once they were up 14-0, it would have been over last year. Let me tell you something. That Raider defensive line, according to PFF, and I hate PFF, but a lot of people like to quote PFF, was the number one defensive pass rushing defense in the NFL last week. You know who was number 2?
Who?
Pittsburgh.
Fuck. Makes sense.
You know what? And I'll put some stats on the board. I don't know how much people can read it. Derek Carr, 34 of 56 for 400. He's the leading passing. He has the most passing yards in the NFL right now. Derek Carr is number 1, guys. He had a great game. That one interception, I don't put it on him. You guys can check it out. Darren Waller. Were you impressed that they targeted Darren Waller 19 times? 19 times.
I was shocked with the offense in general, Joe. I knew Josh Jacobs had the flu going, sick. He had the toe thing going. But if you know John Gruden, you know the Raiders over the last 3 years, John Gruden loves to run the ball. I was absolutely shocked. We came out in shotgun for the majority of the game. Carr was throwing the rock all around the field. I was absolutely shocked, bro. I was like, why aren't we running the ball? But I think it was 2 things, obviously. I think number 1, the health of Josh Jacobs. Absolutely number 1 reason why we passed the ball so much. And number 2, I think he just didn't have as much trust in the line to start the game with Carr under center. I think he wanted Carr in shotgun just so he can help out the line a little bit. And you know what? John Gruden, for the most part, and Derek Carr, they played a hell of a game. He threw for 435 yards, targeting Waller like crazy, got the receivers involved when we needed to. Hunter Renfrow all over the place, making big play after big play. It was fantastic, bro.
Yeah, and I don't know. A lot of things could have gone wrong. Raiders actually could have put more points on the board.
Yes.
Thought about it. That first opening drive, they drove, and then the bad snap by Andre James, it was like, damn it. And they had a couple other series that had some bad calls or bad plays by us. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot again. And then there was some non-calls. There was some. I don't like the
worst officiated game of the week by far. It wasn't even close. This was horribly
like on the Ravens touchdown, the second touchdown where he hit Marquise Brown in the back of the end zone. Where the hell was that holding call on Max Crosby? Because his name is Max Crosby and not TJ Watt or something else, he did not get that call. It is what it is. It's over. Raiders came out victorious, and we started it off the season 1-0. But now, like my son came up, my son ruined my whole high. I had a whole high after that game. I was like, yeah, I'm in here partying. I'm like, yeah, right. That's right. I'm talking crap to everybody. And my son walks up to me and he goes, hey, Dad, when does week 2 start? And I go, shit, it starts right now. I go, you celebrate tonight, and then tomorrow you get ready for week 2 because the Raiders only get to party for a little bit. Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen it. There's a lot. I just put it up here, so it's not a real great graphic, but they just released this about an hour ago. This is the Raiders injury report as of today. Bam.
Oh my God.
Holy crap. Look at that. Look at that. It's so many. There's so many.
Nick Kwiatkowski has a concussion. Gee, that's just a battled and bruised squad right there. I think that just goes to tell you how physical that game was, man.
Yeah, I saw this earlier and I was like, holy shit. I was like, man, I go, they won the game, but what's that, like the Thanos thing? What did it cost?
We won the battle, but oh my goodness, man. They kind of low-key won the war for the long run, man, because that is bad for the Raiders, bro. I heard about Denzel Good. He's out for the year. Absolute warrior. I seen what you posted earlier. He literally played in the game with a torn ACL. Shout out to Denzel Good, man. Tough as fucking nails. It's tough to see him go down, though.
And I wish I should have printed this out or put it on a graphic. What got me is Denzel Good, man. Let me see if I can find it real quick. He didn't want to leave the game at all, even after like coming back in. Like, if you guys don't know, Denzel Good tore his ACL like 7 snaps into the game. Left the game, came back into the game in the second quarter, played another 10 more snaps before he eventually left. Like, holy crap. Yeah. I'm trying to find out where he's at because he was so upset. He actually posted something on Twitter, like apologizing, like, dude, no, you did your job.
No, I seen it when he was shouting out Raider Nation and all the coaches because he was so pissed off. He was so pissed off that he was hurt and he still wanted to play out there. Look, Denzel Good wasn't the only guy. I would give a big shout out to Josh Jacobs, man. He had to absolutely beg the coaching staff to let him play. And he showed out. He showed grit out there. We know Josh Jacobs, man, even from his rookie year, like the year with Green Bay, playing them on the road with a broken shoulder, basically. Yep. He was still running over dudes. Raiders got heart, man. You can say all you want about Mike Mayock missing on talent, but you know what? You know how Gruden and Mayock are. They get guys that have a passion for football, and it's unquestionable with the Raiders, man. Just, situations like that where players lay it out on the line for the squad.
Exactly. They don't, and they showed heart in this game. They had plenty of times to just give up and roll over, and they said no, not today. Daniel Carlson, what a guy,
man.
Denzel Good.
no one ever wants to. You know what play gets underlooked is the last play in fourth quarter before that field goal. How Carr fucking gunned it in there to Edwards. That was a hell of a throw, man. I was absolutely shocked when we got those two big plays, and then they ran up to Carlson without a timeout, and he made the field goal, man. I like to troll around and call him the real DC.
Yeah.
But man, he is living up to it, man, because Daniel Carlson, clutch as hell. I love it, bro. I love situations like that, man.
And to cap it off, okay, after all the stuff that happened in overtime, the Brian Edwards touchdown that wasn't a touchdown, then the interception, then the fumble of Lamar. Then they ran the field goal unit on, and they couldn't find Daniel Carlson to kick the field goal. So then they got the delay, and then they were like, hey, you know what? We'll just go for it. And then they hit Zay Jones for a touchdown. I'm for one was like, hell yes, because I know how much Zay Jones has put in, how much work he's put in. Every offseason, we see him working with Derek Carr, doing his thing ever since he came over to Buffalo. He's wanted to make this impact. And for him to catch that game-winning touchdown in the first game in front of the fans in Las Vegas, congratulations to him. And if you don't love Zay Jones now or before, you have to love him now because unbelievable.
Shout out to the Vegas crowd, bro. It was electrifying in there. I absolutely love the energy that the stadium brought. I had my doubts about the crowd. I'm not gonna lie, because number one, they kind of pushed out the passionate Raider fans with no money, because it's a lot of money to go. Number one, to go to Vegas. Number two, for a ticket alone. So I was saying, man, I hope it's not just a bunch of tourists and people who won tickets from the casino. But you know what, bro? Raider Nation showed up, showed out. It was loud as hell. I love to see a black. It wasn't people just wearing regular shirts. It was all black, a sea of it. I love it, bro. I loved every second of it.
They had Ice Cube. They had Too Short. They had everybody you could think of just having a great time there. And I've actually seen a lot of TikToks and YouTube video and of just fans having a great time. And at one point, I was kind of mad at the beginning because I was like, wait, there's Raider fans sitting down in the stadium? Like, that never happened in Oakland. Yeah. But they were on their feet. They were cheering. They were loud when they needed to be loud. And, yeah, like you said, it was awesome. Now, one thing I did just read coming out of this game, and I don't know if you saw it, the Raiders have filed a complaint with the league about all the dirty hits on wide receiver Hunter Renfrow in Monday night's game. Patrick Queen was called for one of them, but the Raiders compiled a video of several after the play and away from the ball hits on Renfrow.
It's good. It was horribly officiated, man. By far, worst officiated game of the week. It wasn't even close, man. There was a lot of non-calls, egregious calls. It was really, really bad, man. And you brought it up. The worst one of them all was that Max Crosby one. It was so obvious.
I came on at halftime and I was so pissed off about that one. I was like, because of how everybody in the world saw the hold, and you watch the replay, you see the hold, and what the officials and everybody else on all the Sports Center and all the highlight shows are saying. They're going, "What an athletic play by Lamar Jackson! What a quarterback!" Like, yeah, it wouldn't have been that damn play if you would have done your job and you would have called the holding penalty like you were supposed to. Yeah. But it is
the telecast was terrible, man. Usually I don't have a problem with Reddick, but I don't know if you heard this. One of the announcers after commercial were like, well, the Raiders aren't getting blown out tonight. Like,
oh yeah.
What do you mean, bro? Like, how you gonna say some shit like that? It's always dudes like that are freaking oh my goodness, my camera died. Hold on. Let me switch on to this.
I'll tell you something else too. Screw ESPN. Screw that or NBC, whoever was both broadcasting it. That was so much bullshit. Okay, first of all, you don't talk nothing good about the Raiders. Nothing at all did you say great about the Raiders. Lamar Jackson was, the greatest athlete to ever live, the greatest quarterback. He learned how to throw the ball this offseason. And then you get to the Raiders, and you know what they say about the Raiders? oh, Max Crosby, he's sober. He used to be an alcoholic.
That's all they wanted to
Darren
talk
Waller,
about.
so and so, and they go into all them, and then they go, Carl Nassib, he's gay, so let's talk about this. All the negative shit they could find about the Raiders, they talked about it, and then they did a graphic of John Gruden walking through the desert, and like of all these other teams that are so much better than them, and like they were just bashing the Raiders the whole freaking time. Like, find some good shit about the Raiders. How about that? How about you talk good about the Raiders when they're on your broadcast? Because everybody who tuned in, guess what? They're Raider fans. They're Raider fans.
The broadcast was terrible, man. I heard the Peyton Manning and Eli one was a lot better, but I'm going to say this. A big part of what I saw from the Ravens is that didn't look like a Greg Roman offense. And I hate how the telecast was raving about Lamar Jackson. Not in a bad way, because I've had my gripes with Lamar Jackson. I've always said, like, you have to be able to pass the ball when it comes down to the late game situations, throwing a receiver open. And that's been his problem. His problem has never been progressions. I don't think that's any of his problem, or like arm talent. I don't think that's anything of the problem. And continuously, the broadcast was like, oh, he fixed that last year. We didn't see that. We seen all of that. He had no problem with that. He was doing it on Monday night, and he was doing it last year. So just all around, just even on the Ravens side, I was just like, just talking straight false facts about Lamar Jackson. And then another thing with the Raiders, like I think only one person picked the Raiders on them for pregame. I think it was like Steve Young. Everyone else picked the Ravens, bro.
Well, it's easy to hate on the Raiders. Everybody, and like I said, a lot of people came out and they predicted the Raiders to win five wins. So guess what? They got one of their 5 wins already, guys. It's starting off the season hot, and you can talk all the crap you want, but I'm taking this victory. I'm rolling with it, because you can't take it away from us no matter what. And I know a lot of people are going to try to downplay it and be like, the Ravens had all the injuries, all this shit. No, their defense was still ready to go. They still played it good. The Raiders came out and they knocked them in the mouth, and they surprised people. Gus Bradley got that defensive line ready to play, and the Ravens were not ready for it. I'll just say nobody was ready for the Raider defense to be this good.
No. Everyone thought if we were going to win that game, it was going to be all offense. And the defense for the most part, the defense played really good, man. Trayvon had his moments. Abram had his moment, when he knocked out the ball on a crucial third down on Mark Andrews. Denzel Perryman all over the place. You talked about the D-line, Joe, one of the highest rating, grades for PFF. Mm-hmm. The defense just all around played very well. There was only one explosive play that I felt like our defensive scheme kind of let us down. It was on Kwiatkowski and Sammy Watkins over the top. I'll take that, because look, Lamar Jackson's going to make his plays.
The fourth and one.
Yeah.
The fourth and one where they took it 35 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah. But as far as, those 25 plus yards play in the air, because in the air for the Raiders last year, it happened consistently all the time. It was big plays down the field, large chunks. And I only seen one of them. And I know everyone's going to say, well, Juan, what about the Lamar Jackson runs? I get the Lamar Jackson runs. Every defense, even if they're good, they're like, Lamar Jackson's going to get loose. He's an elite player. But the one with Sammy Watkins, that was the only one. He was on the linebacker. He threw it up. That was the one big play. I love the fact that the Raiders really kept everything in front of them, man. I'm loving what Gus Bradley's bringing to the table so far for week 1.
And KJ Wright had a big stop on 4th and 1 as well.
Yes.
There's only 2 plays, like the 4th down and 1 where the guy Williams broke loose 35 yards. I'm like, oh, okay, damn, that one got to me. The Lamar Jackson run at the end, I was like, damn it, they held him so good. Like, you're going to give up rushing yards to Lamar Jackson. It doesn't matter how good you are. You just got to contain him, like you said. That one, it broke me at the end. I was like, damn, they did so good the whole game. Ended up winning. But, hey, that's enough of that. We won. 1-0, baby. 1-0.
Just win, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we just won that one, and now we got to go on. We'll move on to the news and notes. We're already talking about it. Injuries piling up. McCoy, I hate to see this because we were enjoying it, and 2 years in a row, he's now out for the season. Denzel Good tore his ACL. He's out for the season. Ngakoue has a hamstring pull. He's probably not going to play Sunday. And Marcus Mariota hurt himself on the first play of the game. We'll see about how that's going to end. How that's going to end up the rest of the year. Max Crosby named AFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Sir.
And then a lot of news about this before the game. Colleen Farrell was there. Everybody said was a healthy scratch. It's now come out that he had a back flare up. The injury that he's been dealing with all offseason flared up before the game, and that's why they made him inactive. I just want to let you guys know that he will be a part of the Raider defense. Just
we need him.
Relax. Like, I know a lot of people are freaking out. Where's he at? He's inactive. Number 4 overall pick is inactive. He got hurt. He hurt himself. It's okay. I'm good with it. And they're going to need him, especially with Ngakoue out.
Yeah, that's a big loss. I think that's the biggest loss out of all of them. I know Denzel Good is a big part of our offense, but you've seen what Crosby did with Yannick. Yannick was hitting home just as much as Crosby. And that's going to be a tough one. We need Colleen Farrell to step up. And another one that's kind of heartbreaking is Mariota. I know it was only one play, and Gruden doesn't usually do that, but he was already saying, like, we're planning on using Mariota a lot in that situation. And I would love that for our offense. That just keeps the defense on their toes. And it's a big loss, man, because I would love to be looking forward to Mariota being part of the offense in that way.
Yeah, Gruden said when Mariota went down, the Raiders lost a lot of their offense, and I was like, "Woo, okay, that's good to get him involved, to get him doing some other stuff." But I hope the Raiders change their game plan out just a little bit. I mean, I like Alec Ingold, but I thought they threw it to him a little bit too much. Like, I'm like, come on, he is a fullback. Yeah. Hopefully they realize, like, oh, Brian Edwards can catch. Henry Ruggs can make some plays. Yeah. And maybe the hits, maybe going to the league with the Hunter Renfrow stuff will alleviate a lot of that stuff, and he'll be open a lot more. Because it seems like everybody knows. What do they call it? Third and Renfrow. That's who we're going to. And it seems like they're going to take the cheap shots as much as they can because the Raiders wide receivers don't have these big names. They're not going to get these calls. And everybody knows it, and the defensive backs are going to as long as they can.
Yeah, most definitely. And moving on to Max Crosby, I just want to say this. I know everyone's gonna talk about Colleen Farrell. You brought it up, Joe, in the fourth overall pick. Right now, he's looking like a bust. I think he only has about 4 sacks. He hasn't been improving. He's having these injury issues this year. Look, I know it's bad, Raider Nation. I know it is. Like, we'll probably always get shit for this pick. And it was, like, there's no doubt. It was a bad pick. If he isn't a bust right now, it was definitely an overdraft. Most definitely. Yeah. But it's so good to have a guy like Max Crosby, who was in the exact same draft, got him in the 4th round, and he's working out for us. It minimizes the blow for the mistake that Mayock and Gruden did with Colleen Farrell. So, this is what I was trying to tell someone last night. You slap on Colleen Farrell's last name to Max Crosby's career. Number 1, has the most sacks out of any player in that draft class. That's guys like Brian Burns and Nick Bosa. Guys who have made Pro Bowls and who have been really, really good in the league. He has more sacks than both of them. If you wind up putting Colleen Farrell on that jersey, Max Crosby's a way bigger player than who he is. Everyone's in love with him, but because he's number 1, a 4th rounder, number 2, plays for the Raiders, no one cares. Yeah. No one knows his name besides this week. Like, Max Crosby has been doing big stuff for us the last 2 years. He's gone in the double digit in sacks. So I'm just glad that it minimizes the blow of whatever happens to Colleen Farrell. I'm rooting for him. I hope he gets his shit together and he winds up being a contributor at least on the defense. You don't have to be a superstar, bro. I know he's probably not going to live up to the expectations for a 4th round overall pick.
Yeah.
But at least be a contributor. Be on the team. Be on the field. Stay healthy. Do something. I just know that
and they brought him
Max
in for his
Crosby
attitude.
do his job.
They brought him in for his attitude, his love of the game, and to play hard and do what he does. He won a championship at Clemson. He knows how to win. He knows how to do the. I think he'll fix it and he'll get along with there. And with the way Max Crosby's playing, maybe he'll get those sacks now. Maybe those sacks will come.
Yeah.
This week, Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the one thing I hate about the NFL schedule makers, and I don't know why they continue to freaking do it. But every time they send a West Coast team to the East Coast, they have a 10 a.m. start, which is a 1 p.m. start on the East Coast.
On a short week. Just
on a short week. And I hate it. And I'm not trying to blame it. I'm not going to say it. But history has shown it. No matter who the West Coast team is, it could be Seattle, it could be the Rams, could be the Chargers, the 49ers. They send them over there. They have a tough time adjusting. But then they'll play like the Giants versus Washington at 4 o'clock in the afternoon over there. And it makes no damn sense. But the schedule makers need to get this right. Every time you send a West Coast team to the East Coast, you need to start at the latest that you can. You don't start at 10 o'clock. You start at the 1 o'clock window Eastern time, which is 4 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Pacific time. Get that right. But we can't fix the schedule. So the Raiders play Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just knocked off Buffalo Bills. Was a big upset for some people. I picked Pittsburgh to win that game. I don't know. Maybe I'm just good. Maybe I'm lucky. I don't know. But I think if we held Lamar and we did great against Lamar, Big Ben can't run like that no more.
Yeah.
Are we expecting our defensive line to eat again?
No, most definitely. I think the offense for Pittsburgh is not going to be as explosive as it was last year. I think the one thing about Pittsburgh is their defense. That's the story. Their defense is legit. They paid a guy in TJ Watt who's much deserved. They have Minka Fitzpatrick, who looks like he's improved this year. Their linebackers are really good. All around, bro. Their defensive line, like you said, Joe, second for a grade, and it's believable, bro, because they got dogs. Cameron Hayward, really good. TJ Watt, already talked about him. They got Stephon Tuitt. They're loaded, bro. They're loaded. And with this young offensive line that the Raiders have, it's going to be tough. I'm just going to say that. It's going to be really, really hard.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to get challenged at the DB position this week with the 3 great wide receivers. Najee Harris should be better than Williams a little bit, but I'm hoping that the unathletic Big Ben, I'm not saying he can't move and can't do his thing, but I saw him run against Buffalo, and he wasn't the same. That defense, though, that's a top defense over there. So our offense is actually going to get challenged. It's going to be interesting to see if Alex Leatherwood can hold on to not hold. Please don't hold. If he can take care of TJ Watt, because he had a little bit of issues with why can't I think of the defensive end now from Baltimore?
Oh, Calais Campbell. Justin Houston.
Yeah. So he had a little bit of issues there. Other than that, I mean, Alex Leatherwood, he's going to learn. He's a project, but he's going to learn. And he actually played pretty damn good, I think, except for the false start at the end of the game, and he had like 1 holding penalty.
Hey, look, man, for the most part, the offensive line to do that against Baltimore runs some exotic ass shit on defense. They're coming from all angles, and the fact that the offensive line got better as the game went on, I felt like it's a good sign to go into a place like Pittsburgh. Because Pittsburgh, it's not the exact same thing as Baltimore, but it's pretty similar. They like to run zone blitzes. They like to bring the house. They like to have your offensive line challenged because a bunch of people are coming from whole different angles.
Yep. So it's gonna be a fun day in Pittsburgh. You and I are both 1-0 on our predictions. You said 24-17 over the Ravens. I said 34-24 over the Ravens. So we're both pretty close.
Yeah.
Now let's do our predictions for this week. I'll pull them up right now. Come on, there it is. So you got the Raiders losing this week, which understandable because I was going back and forth with it too. I'm like we said, the 10 a.m. start coming off a short week. The injuries have piled up on the Raiders. Pittsburgh is a pretty damn good team. You're going 31-24. I'm saying the Raiders squeak this one out. I'm saying it's going to be a little tough one at 23-20. What else? What else you got on this one?
I mean, this is the game to if you're gonna lose one, this is it. I felt like we're gonna do our job if we wind up losing this game because it's 1-1. You come out of the first 2 weeks against Baltimore and then Pittsburgh on the road on a short week, and you go 1-1. I feel like that's a win for the Raiders. It's not a big deal. It's not starting 0-2. If they wind up pulling this out, though, it's going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be big. I think if they wind up winning this game, you got to start talking about them being a legit playoff team. There's no doubt. Because an elite defense like the Steelers and the Raiders' top 10 offense, who we predict what they're going to be, it's going to be a huge game, man. But we could be both wrong. Like, this game could probably go a whole different ways. It is week 1, Joe, and we could be overreacting on the Pittsburgh side. Pittsburgh can be fucking garbage. You know, what if they just really had a good day? I don't think that's the case, but it's week 1, man. There's a lot of unknown about our teams that we have to find out.
And both teams started out the same way. The Raiders started out slow. The Steelers started out slow. And at both times, you're like, okay, the Raiders are garbage and Steelers are garbage. And they both made comebacks in the second half. But like you said, it was week 1. We could be overreacting on both teams and not knowing what's going to happen in this game. And it could just go a totally crap show. But like you said, okay, I understand it because me and you were arguing over this or not arguing, but me and you we think the same way. So this could be a loss right here. This could be our first loss of the season. But I'm going to say they go 2-0 because if they go 2-0, like you said, put it on the board now. The Raiders are legit and ready to go. Only thing that would be able to kill them would be injuries, just like the last week. If they pull this game off and go 2-0, whoo!
Yeah, we're a problem at that point because Pittsburgh is a bona fide playoff team, in my opinion. Overreacting or not, like, they're good. They're going to be good to go. What I want to ask, Joe, you put 23-20. What's your key of the game? Key, like, matchup, key aspect. What do the Raiders have to do to win this game? What's the recipe?
Huge win for they got to run the ball. They got to run the ball and keep control of the ball. But because you want to wear down that defense. It's a top defense. But you can't let the pass rushers just come out with their ears pinned back and come after Derek Carr like that. And you already know that they're going to if you guys don't know, Pittsburgh does a great job at shutting down tight ends. So Darren Waller is not going to be that big of a factor. If you got Darren Waller in fantasy football, this might be one of those weeks you don't want to play him.
Yeah.
I mean, you play your studs, but huge win for the Raiders. Y'all are already 2-0. Yeah, they gave us 2 wins for that, Dalton. We're the only team that got 2 wins. So they're going to have to go somewhere else than Darren Waller this week. They've already shown it. Like, you don't think Pittsburgh's watching the tape going, damn, they targeted this guy 19 times. Let's just leave him wide open. They have the linebackers. They have the skills. They have the schemes. They have Mika Fitzpatrick, people that could go on Darren Waller. It's going to have to be one of these other guys. I think if they're able to pound the rock just a little bit more than they were last week, because our running game wasn't that great last week. I mean, Josh Jacobs did get 2 touchdowns, but I think what they finished with a couple, not that many. For
a John Gruden team, it was shocking, but I think they obviously had a game plan to throw the rock. They felt confident besides Marlon Humphrey being out there because they even tested Marlon Humphrey a couple of times. But one thing I want to go back on Pittsburgh. I completely agree with both you guys, Dalton and Joe. You got to run the ball. You got to simplify the game. You got to run Josh Jacobs, all of that. Don't let the defensive line pin their ears back. One thing that you have to do, in my opinion, Ben Roethlisberger, prone to throw interceptions.
Yes.
You have to get pressure on Big Ben, and you have to make them pay. Get your ball, get your hands on a ball and intercept that thing. Because my prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I knew their defense was going to be good. I know they have all those weapons in Mapletron, a.k.a. Chase Claypool, all those guys. Their offense is good. Najee Harris, rookie, everyone expects him. But the one big question mark to me is Big Ben. Old age and prone to throw turnovers. He loves to turn over the ball right now late in his career. And the Raiders have to capitalize. They have to get their hands on a ball. They have to produce turnovers. That's the key to win this game. Their defense has to get turnovers. I don't care how many yards you give up. Get turnovers.
Yeah, and Dalton, you're talking about Nassib. I think people forget how good Carl Nassib was 2 years ago when he was in Tampa Bay. And that's why the Raiders gave him that big contract. Then he came over and kind of fell behind in the Paul Gunther defense. This is a whole different system. Gus Bradley, he wants 4 guys to rush the passer. He doesn't want to send an extra guy. He needs those 4 guys to get to the line, get to the quarterback, which they did a great job against Lamar. Like I said, Big Ben's 39 years old. If we can't get to him, we're going to have some issues. I think Matt Crosby eats again. I don't think the Steeler offensive line is any much better. Here's what I'm saying. That Steeler victory to me I called the Steelers over Buffalo. It's more shocking to a lot more other people that were like, Buffalo's the best team. They're going to go do it. I've been talking about Buffalo for 2 years, that their defense was getting worse each year. We took one of their star defensive players in Quentin Jefferson, and he's on our defensive line now. He's on our defensive line. So the Buffalo Bills go out and make those plays, but they're prone to get beat. They can get beat, especially against a good team like the Steelers. I think we match up pretty damn well against Steelers. I think we do. I think the confidence over the Ravens even helps us a little bit more. There's a few things I want to see. I do like the Kenyon Drake. I like what they're doing with Kenyon Drake. Yeah. I just wish they ran those plays that they ran with Alec Ingold with Kenyon Drake. Get him out in that open field. Let him catch that ball and run. But I think we're going to see it. I think they game planned for Baltimore. And you know how John Gruden is. He game plans his offense can be different every week, the way he goes. And it's going to be interesting. But I think they just need to waste the time down it. And that's why I put a lot of stalled drives for the Raiders this week, a lot of field goals to get us to 23-20. That's what I had.
Yeah. I hope so, man. There's definitely a recipe of beating them. It's nowhere near like, oh, the Raiders are completely outmatched. They don't have the talent. No reason of that. It's just we can't turn over the ball, and we cannot let that defensive line just pin their ears back, like you said, Joe. Like that's where the game's going to get out of hand, because you can't let that happen. That's when it gets ugly. I'm hoping that the Raiders pull it through, as always, bro. As always, but I'm not gonna cheat myself. I'm not gonna, be delusional and be like, hey, ignore all this stuff. There's gonna be weeks on here that I pick the Raiders to lose, and there's gonna be some weeks I pick them to win. But at the end of the day, bro, if you see me in front of my TV, I have all the confidence in the world that the Raiders are gonna win. I don't care, man. I just do it for the sake of you guys. I don't want to lie to the audience. I don't want to put on the front.
And I don't feel that I'm lying. I actually feel that they're going to pull this one out. Before the season, and you just said it earlier, we felt that we need to get one of these wins. We need to get the Ravens win, or we need to get the Steelers win. If we pull both of them, power to us. Because if you look at the Raiders' first 8 games, they're very, very tough, very hard. Actually, the whole schedule's hard. But the end of the schedule, and we broke this down a couple weeks ago, we broke down the end of the schedule is the worst part of it. But the first 8 games are very tough, but all winnable. And if the Raiders can play like they did Monday night and pull these little games off, there's a chance they could have a great record at the end of that 8 games. There's a chance they could be 7-1, 8-0, 6-2, whatever you want to say. We're hoping, that they're at least over 500 at that point. But I don't know. I saw enough on Monday night where if they grind it out, they can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only thing that's bothering me is the travel to the East Coast, but I think they get through it. I think that I truly believe they knock off the Steelers this week.
I would say this too, Joe. You look at what our division is going to face this week. You got Dallas going to the Chargers. Dallas is not no pushover. They don't have a defense, but they can score points. So it's not like that's an automatic win for the Chargers. So the Chargers are capable of going 1-1. Kansas City on Sunday night is traveling to Baltimore, an 0-1 team who just lost a heartbreaker. Baltimore is going to itch and crawl their way and bite off kneecaps, all the above to win that game. They're trying to avoid 0-2. The only part that scares me is Denver's going to Jacksonville. And Denver has had two easy-ass opponents. They started off with the Giants and Jacksonville. Cupcake-ass schedule.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. Denver is the only potential team who has the best chance at going 2-0. I can see easily that the Raiders, if they wind up losing this game, you got to be rooting for Dallas and Kansas City to lose. Or Chargers and Kansas City to lose, because you'll be tied for second place and you would figure Denver is going to fall off.
Our whole division is undefeated right now. Everybody's 1-0. So that was another thing that the Raiders need, that win on Monday, because you could say like 0-1's not a big deal, but it is in our division. One game is a big deal.
Yes,
you fall back that one game, it is a big deal, because the AFC West and the AFC, both West Coast divisions, the AFC and the NFC, are the best divisions in football. I'm all over the place right now, but I'm hoping for that 2-0. I'm going for it. I'm
hoping
on the board. I truly believe it. I know you believe it, but I know that you're optimistic about it because of how great the Steelers are.
I have it a one-score game. It's a one-possession game. So it's not like I have the Steelers blowing us out. I just, it's tough, man. I just hope we get turnovers, man. I hope our defense shows up and keeps on improving and show us why, like, Gunther was a big problem. Because like me and Joe said, we're down 14-0 last year. The game's not close. It's over. I don't think we have a shot. But our defense came out to play. Big shout out to Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs is a bona fide starter. That's another guy who's laying off the pressure and the miss of a potential Damon Arnett. You wind up getting a guy in Nate Hobbs who looks like he's the real deal. He was out there every single play. He looks like he's going to be our starting nickel corner, and he's going to be really good, because I didn't see Nate Hobbs get beat much. That's going to lower the blow for Arnett for the miss.
Yeah, and I was very excited about the Raiders defense. I'm excited to see how they improve the rest of the season, because this was the first time they didn't play a lot in the preseason, the starters and this whole unit. So this was actually the first game that they were actually together. Now let me ask you one question before we take off. You have a projection of the Steelers scoring 31 points. I have them at 20 points. Last year, the Raiders were giving up 28 points a game. Yeah. Are we nervous about them giving up another 31 or 20 points a game, or is that just football now?
I would say that's just football now. I would say the yards are not as important, like I said, and you have to produce turnovers. Like if the Steelers wind up scoring 31 and the Raiders score 34 and it's a close game, but it winded up coming down to Big Ben throwing 3 picks, but he had 3 touchdowns, like that is what it is.
Yeah.
Like you're going to give up 30 points. The Chiefs do it every year. The Chiefs give up points. The thing is that the Chiefs just outscore you. And the Raiders have the potential to do that. We have a top 10 offense. We have an offense that can produce points. We can get in shootouts. Big reason why we beat the Chiefs last year.
Yep. And we just didn't have the defense, and now it looks like we might have it. Well, guys, Raiders are 1-0. Hopefully next week when we come back, they're 2-0.
Yes, not, sir, man.
We'll still be here. If they lose this week, we'll still be here. We'll still be rooting on our Raiders, and that's what we do. Guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so you're always coming back for more Raider Nation talk, because week 2, week 2's here. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Appreciate it. Juan, see you next week.
Next week, bro. 2-0. Let's get it.